All right, so everybody, this is going to be the episode 2 of the Wolves Den. We are joined today by our homie Benji. Benji, say
Yes,
what's
sir.
up and tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's up? What's up? As he said, my name is BenG. Currently, I go to Purdue University, play in the CCL, trying to, grind a little Halo, and overall, just a gamer. So yeah, that's that's all I got.
All right, before we
Or-
get into the hot topics that we plan on doing today, what got you into video games?
Probably my friends. Growing up, just going to my friend's house, we used to play everything from like Madden, Call of Duty, uh, and honestly, just the competitive side of it. So once uh once I got into video games with my friends, I just fell in love with competitive, and now I'm here.
Awesome, awesome. Um, so you say you're in college now, you're in CCL.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
before you got into college, was your main focus because of the CCL? Or was it,
Um,
or was that just like you got to college and you seen that they had the COD team, so then you wanted to join into it?
yeah, no, before college, I played competitive COD mainly starting in league play. I found out what exactly competitive COD was, and I started playing game battles, things like that.
I think that's how
And
we met.
then,
Yeah,
yeah, no, we did. Yeah, that's how I met Suede. I
yeah.
actually just saw him tweet out, and I was like, yeah, I'm just want to play with somebody. So I hit him up, and we started playing like that. And then once I got to college, I was like, I knew what the CCL was just from like seeing things on Twitter, and then I was like really curious because Purdue has like 40,000 kids. I was like, surely there's like some kids here that play. And I joined their Discord and found the team, and they hit me up. They were just asking me questions, like trying to figure out like how serious I was. And once they figured out like I took it serious and I was like going to lands and stuff, they were down to run. I was starting back in like Black Ops 4.
Yeah, because I
So
remember going off
yes.
of that, because Tom pretty much reached out to you about it,
Hmm.
and then you and me were just like kind of doing like challengers, doing pro points, just what I'm
Yeah.
saying, doing stuff like
Yeah.
that, and then Tom came in, and I think it was Sauce, right?
Yeah, and Kanani
And
and
Kanani,
Proxy.
Kanani, Proxy,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so they
I
they DM me, and that's how I figured out what the CCL was really, and just Purdue. I didn't know we had a team, and then I was like, holy crap, we got a team! Like, might as well play. And that's kind of how I got into it. And Suede was there the whole time. Obviously, he didn't go to Purdue, but he was there for the whole journey.
Yeah, pretty much,
That's
pretty much.
awesome. That's awesome. So, what has been your experience in the CCL so far? Like, how you're
Um, uh,
liking it?
so overall, I really enjoyed it. It's really taken off. Like I remember Black Ops 4, I think there was not even like 20 teams, and it was kind of just like thrown together. It came out of a Reddit thread of people looking for teams, and every year I've played since Black Ops 4, it's gotten exponentially bigger. Start like last year, we had over 100 some teams in it. The prize pool's grown. The streams have had up to 20,000 people in them. Like it's taken off. So like overall, it's been a really positive experience, and I think it's only going to get bigger with more people coming in now that big money's getting in too.
Hmm.
But overall, it's been really positive.
And for all the players and teams that are in the CCL, in your opinion, do most of those players compete only just to have fun, or they try to compete because they want to be at the highest level? Like, are they taking the
Yeah.
CCL very seriously, or is this just something to do because they're in college?
It's pretty top heavy. Like the top teams, like I'd say like the top 6 teams, especially have a lot of players that are trying to compete in challengers and like make it to the pro league and whatnot. But other than like the top 6 teams, a lot of it's just like kids that are just passionate about COD. Like Purdue, we don't have scholarships, so ours was kind of like organic. The kids that were playing were just playing because they like COD. But overall, like it's super top heavy. So like the top teams are really ultra competitive, and yeah, they're really gross kids. But then if you work your way down, then it's kind of just kids that are passionate about COD that don't necessarily put in the time to make the pro league or want to make the pro league. They're kind of just doing it for fun. So in that aspect, I would say that yes, there are kids that are ultra competitive and want to make the league, but overall, a vast majority of the kids are just doing it because it's fun and they like competing and just have passion for COD.
Okay. With that being said, with scholarships and all that, what is your take on the professional players coming to college COD?
Yeah, no, that's like a super like I don't know, it's super weird to talk about, but just the way like it's an opinion of mine, but just the way I see it, like I don't really like pros coming to college, especially just the way it's worked. The teams that have won it in the past, a lot of those teams they don't even like go to that school anymore. They were just like one and done. So they showed up to the school, they just won the CCL, and they either flunked out or the school dropped them because obviously their grades weren't good. So I don't really, I mean, I think it's good that top people want to be in the CCL, but it's kind of a turnoff for a lot of the, like if you're not gonna win, if you don't have scholarship people on your roster, then a lot of kids are going to different college leagues. Like there's a league that's starting, it's been started, the CXP, and it's for non-scholarship teams. And a lot of people are joining that because they obviously aren't going to beat teams that have like silly and all these like pro or top am kids. So honestly, I think it hurts CCL overall because a lot of top teams are going to play because they have a shot, but a vast majority of the teams that aren't on scholarship are just not going to play, or if they do play, they're not going to give it their all. They're just going to wait for CXP to start. So I think overall for me it's a negative, but I mean I can't blame them for giving if you can give money to somebody like
Yeah.
then you can't knock that. But I wish the league would just make a decision one way or the other because I don't know, I just think overall it hurts a lot of the people they're going to play. A lot of teams aren't going to play because they don't have a shot,
Mhm.
and there's really no like guidelines on. You could just show up for a year, win the prize pool, and then flunk out and just be
Yeah,
gone.
literally,
So
that's what pretty much Ottawa did.
yeah.
So I'm gonna give my opinion on just me, like on the outside, because like I said, I'm not in the CCL, I'm not in this stuff, I'm not like dealing with the league operations or stuff like that every day. But my big thing is like with these pro teams or these pro players or former pros, try and get into the college COD league. Like, first off, the people that run the CCL say they want to run it like a actual NCAA program. They have said that in the past. So if that's actually what they want, they should follow by the rules of like the NCAA and say like, hey, if you were a pro, you cannot become back to college and become an amateur. That pretty much breaks your amateur status when you become a professional player.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're ever signed to like a CDL or CDL contract as a pro or stuff like that, that should automatically break your amateur status. That's why you don't see like LeBron going back to college to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like
That's not kind of how I see it. Like
it's
once you lose your amateurism, like the CCL should say, yeah, like you were a pro at one point. You know, this is like mainly passion kids, like the kids that have not made the league yet and they want to get exposure. And I just that's the way I see it. It's just my
I,
opinion.
I feel like it's taken away from them a little bit, like those players,
Yeah,
especially like you guys, because I'll give you guys credit where you guys are. Like you guys are probably a top four, top six team in the CCL, at least based on last year, right?
if we grind it, we could be really good. But I
Because
don't think we want to grind this year just because
yeah,
it's
of
just a lot of
everything.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I know last year, like you guys didn't scrim really any, and you guys were a
No.
top four team. You, Tragic Tom, and not Sauce. What's his name? Stone.
Yeah.
Like you guys are a really, really good team, and it just sucks now because like I could see you guys being like in that top tier teams again, making decent money or making scholarship money off stuff, and then
Yeah.
with these new teams coming in, it's just kind of ruining that in a way.
It's just hard to compete because one, like if we put in the time, we could be pretty good, but a lot of the teams that are forming with like pro players and top AMs, like they're online schools, so like those kids will never see the campus, and you know who knows. Like, obviously, like if you're online, like you got to do some classes, but I don't know like in terms of classes, like what they're taking or what they're trying to major in,
Yeah,
and like long term. So it's like that's like a lot of people are mad about saying that okay, you know, Silly can go to college, but if he's doing it online, that's different than actually going to a college like, on campus. Like there should be a rule about you can't be online. But at the end of the day, I don't think CCL they just see like they really don't want to make a ruling on it because it kind of screws
Some
those
other college.
schools. Yeah,
Yeah.
it screws somebody. Like somebody's gonna get screwed, and I think they're just gonna err on the side of okay,
Mhm.
we're gonna let these big name people play.
See, talking about that too, because like if I'm correct, you guys are stuff in like almost how like actual college programs are like, and you guys have your own division,
Yeah, yeah.
like
There's like like an East,
like East
West.
ACC, or pretty
Yeah,
much like in college football, like with ACC, the Big
yeah, like
10, Big 12
conferences. Yeah.
conferences. Yeah. So like
Hmm.
if these kid teams are like online school, right?
Yeah.
They're based online. How can they really give them a conference if that makes sense?
Yeah, because
Be-
yeah, they're all over the United States.
exactly.
You know
So
what I
like
mean?
say, because I think what's that school called? They play like Bay State or
Like Bay
Bay.
State or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're a West Coast school, but what if they have someone on their team that's an East Coast player, and
Yeah.
they have them
They're all
host
over.
against this West Coast team?
It gets really fuzzy because like we played
Yeah,
Oregon. We had to play Oregon in the playoffs, and that was horrible. Like playing on a West Coast. Like thank God we got three of the hosts because we ended up beating them on their hosts. But if they were like if we weren't as good or they were better, like it'd have been impossible to beat them on their
Mhm.
host. I don't know how all that works. I just know that it's a big disaster, and everybody's got their own opinion, which is why it's so like controversial.
it's controversial, yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I don't think the CCL is going to do anything about it, and
Mm.
I don't know. We'll see how it works because I know the CXP league, the league I talked about, where if you're a non-scholarship team, like they're going to get a lot of people, so they're going to get a lot of like eyes too because
It's going to be growing a ton, I feel like, this year because of that
yeah,
stuff.
because
And
we've won that league a few times, and there's only been like 15 teams in it.
I bet there's going
But
to be at least 50 to 60.
there's gonna be a ton because the
Yeah.
kids that don't have time to just grind COD all day, they're in college, like they're gonna join that league because they don't have to scrim 8 hours a day to try to beat silly.
Philly,
Yeah,
and apparently like God or X might be making a team too.
yeah.
And
There's
it's
some like God squads. I
like
saw a tweet. There's a bunch of good people joining, and it's good, but it's also
mhm.
kind of
Yeah,
crapping on a lot of
it's
kids.
it is, and this is my big thing. It's just like I can understand like if you're say you're a top amateur, like say
Hmm.
you're these players that are like the top of challengers and you want to go
Yeah,
college. I'm like that's fine. You were a pro. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. No, yeah,
But when you get that pro stats and then you want to go back to college,
yeah,
it's like it starts getting fuzzy, especially if you say and you go on record saying like you want to run this sort of like an NCAA program. You know what I'm saying? Or
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Sports program. It's like
And
because
like, yeah, just like the aspect that like what we saw last year with Ottawa. I mean, a couple of their players just like flunked out. And it's like
mm-hmm. And they're trying to do it
if
again too. A few of them
you do
are.
that, they in CCL, from what I've been told and what I've came to find out, is they don't check grades until you place money. So they only check grades for people that place money, which makes sense because there's a lot of people. But I feel like if you don't make grades or you flunk out, like if it's a college league, then you shouldn't get money for that. Like
Yeah.
they should hold your cash because like you obviously didn't you're at college but dropping like whatever a point 0.1 GPA or 1.4 whatever they had like
Mhm.
that's you
Yeah.
do that in NCAA like you're on academic probation like
Yeah, and
you're
you're
not on a
getting kicked
team.
out. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just weird, especially because like some of those kids that did do that, that had these awful grades and got kicked out, are trying to
yeah,
do it again with a different
you
school.
just flip of schools. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like they're trying to
yeah,
flip schools almost like they're on and like challengers flipping orgs.
yeah. I think yeah
yeah.
they definitely have to keep on top of that because
Mm.
I mean there's a lot of kids that have good grades that were definitely very good, but didn't win the league, and then the kids that won the league obviously might not have the they did literally flunk out. Like
Yeah, you got
I think,
Benji over here with his 4.0.
yeah, I wish that would be that would be ideal, but definitely not a 4.0, but
Hmm.
definitely didn't flunk out either. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. There's some good and bad to it. I mean,
They're getting a lot more money in
I
with
think,
these pros coming in for sure.
yeah,
I think
and
I think that's their big thing why they want to do it.
yeah,
well that,
They're
and I
getting more
think,
exposure.
yeah, definitely more exposure. I believe that's gonna be like one of the biggest things, the reason why
Hmm.
that they did that. It does suck for some of the players that just want to play to have fun. But at the same time, granted, I do agree with the pro status thing. If you're a pro, you should not be into it, especially if they're trying to make it an actual college level esport.
yeah,
But at the same time, it's an esport. you're it's competitive Call of Duty, so it shouldn't matter what kind of player it is, pro or not. You should be able to want to beat them.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be afraid of them just because they're a pro. But at the same time, I do agree with you lose your amateur status.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing that a lot of people are complaining about. I don't think they're like afraid to play them, honestly. Especially with like some of these like former pros, just because they're like, I'm not going to say they're washed because I know they probably could still gun me, but
Yeah.
like they're not as good as they once were. But once you get to that pro status and then you're trying to go back down to an amateur status and go
Yeah.
college and do a college league with it, it's like
I
don't know.
I think from what I've seen over on Twitter, I think the main thing people are really mad about is how easy these guys got a scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
I think that might have been one of the biggest thing.
Like I can't blame them. Like if college is gonna pay for my whole college to go play
Yeah.
COD, like I would do it in a heartbeat. It's just
Yeah. I don't know.
it's
I think
it's
it
just they're
rubs.
not. It rubs people the wrong way. For
Yeah,
sure.
because a lot of the people that are still in it, like when I was in Black Ops 4, like everyone was playing. There was really no prize pool, so everyone was just playing just because it was fun to like match up versus like other schools and like play 4 or 5 other people that were at another school, and it was just cool to see like, if Purdue was good or this team was good, and then now like just like everything else, it's gonna get ultra competitive because the prize pool for CCL is huge, so teams naturally without like any regulations or rules are just gonna like give if you can give a scholarship you're gonna give a scholarship because it's there's no regulation on it and they want to win and the schools want to make money, so like it's just naturally there's gonna be better people showing up.
Yeah, they want to make money. They want the exposure, stuff like that.
But yeah,
Especially,
like just where
especially
I
like
came from, it's just like the change in skill level has gone up so much that I mean, to be the best, you got to put in a lot of time, and a lot of the people that are putting in a lot of time are just not focusing on school either. So that's where a lot of people get rubbed the wrong way.
Yeah.
because it's almost like how it is with like college sports. You like academics has to come first, and
Yeah, you're like a student athlete. You're not just an
yeah,
athlete.
exactly.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people just get rubbed the wrong way. But
Mhm.
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I mean,
I still like
like
your one tweet about the Halo. Like no one's a pro in Halo, might as well go play it, dude.
yeah. No, I tweeted if you haven't, people haven't seen it obviously, but I was like, we should just GA this game and play Halo because everybody's gonna be about the same skill level in Halo. Like nobody's like been grinding that, but I mean, I was just like being a trolley tweet, but I thought it was funny because everyone that would play would just be like kind of around the same skill,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It's a
It's
very
just
divisive one.
yeah, it seems
It's
like
gonna be a
this.
good year though. I think it'll be
Yes,
interesting.
they're going this year. CCL is going to be growing a lot. I think they're going to lose a lot of people too, especially for the
Yeah,
CXB. But
yeah, yeah. If you're
I
non-scholarship, playing CCL is just the
not worth it.
competition. Yeah, if you can't give a scholarship, you're stuck with whoever's at your school. You just have to
See,
get lucky if you
someone
have good
messaged
vision on.
me a couple days ago. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was like Lagger Gaming. I don't know if you know them as an organization, but they messaged me a couple days ago when I was tweeting out because I got pretty heated on Twitter about like
Yeah, yeah.
CCL. Yeah, I was getting pissed to say the least. But isn't it true that like they don't have permission to run a league from NOC or NACE or whatever is the NAC?
Are you talking about like the CCL?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I know
Cause
Activision was like if you weren't approved, you couldn't run like tournaments and shit, but
yeah, cause
I
that's
don't
what
know.
this Lagger guy was trying to tell me. I'm like, if that's true, then how are they getting scholarshipped for
Mhm.
something that's not allowed?
Well, that's what I mean. CCL is like not an official like NCAA thing, so the schools
Mhm.
that are giving scholarship are just counting on the CCL people being a league next year. It's not like it's guaranteed.
Yeah,
And there
I
was
don't
like
know.
rumors that there was like a money issue at one point after MW, and that they might not even be a league. And then there's a lot of rumors, so like you were kind of taking a chance with giving scholarships. Is
Mhm.
probably why a lot of people didn't.
Mhm.
And
That's
now I
so
think
like
people.
I wonder if the CC like say the CC's I can't talk CCL thing
Mm,
doesn't work out, right?
yeah,
What happens to these kids that they gave full
yeah.
scholarships
I
to?
don't, I don't know.
Do they revoke them?
I would assume the school would just be like, yeah, well, you had no leagues, and we're not gonna pay for your school just for fun. So
Yeah.
and I don't. really know how it all works. Like, I don't know how you make that much money for the school because the prize pool is big, but I don't know how much like tuition is for these schools that
Yeah,
would.
I
I
think
mean,
I
I guess
saw it's
they're
like
just trying to get
25K,
exposure.
right? Does it sound right?
Yeah,
25K, and like I'm guessing, well, my college at Indiana Tech, which is a private school, so it's gonna be more, but it's like 38,000 a year.
yeah, and you're not making that, and
You're
even
man,
if you win the
even
league.
if you win the whole thing, you get the whole prize
Hmm.
pool. You're not making that back.
Yeah, I guess they're just
So,
trying to get exposure out of it, but
hmm
I don't. It time will tell. But I would not be surprised if some of these schools that give scholarships to these top people, those kids just drop out after this year, or they go somewhere else.
or
'Cause
sort of
that's
like
what we
how,
saw last year
yeah,
happen.
yeah, we saw that last year with Otto. I'll say it, but
Like yeah, Ottawa just yeah they just disbanded. So
hmm disbanded. Now they're looking for new schools to do it again.
yeah, they just like rotate
hmm
somewhere
Literally,
else.
literally org hopping, only with fucking colleges.
Yeah,
I,
interesting though for sure. I'd like to
mhm.
see what happens. Only time will tell.
It'll be an interesting year, that's for sure. For CCL, CXP, and there's probably gonna be other college leagues that's gonna be popping up now because of it too.
Yeah,
I
just
wouldn't be
like
surprised.
even if CCL made a rule like we'll have a scholarship league and a non-scholarship league, and this non-scholarship league obviously the prize pool might not be as big, but I think people would still play that because
hmm
it would be more for passion, less for like kids aren't on scholarship, so they're not at that school for COD. They're at that school to learn.
Exactly.
But I don't know. The CCL made that the rule this year. If you didn't see there's like two different tiers. There's like an academy,
hmm
and there's also like a main team.
Yeah, almost like a
And
JV varsity kind of thing.
some of these schools they have like two teams that are equally as good. So one of the good teams is going to be in the B League, and I don't know how that's fair, but
Yeah, well, that's like how Ottawa was. Like Ottawa
Mhm.
was their A
they're
team was the best, of
yeah
course, but then their B team was a top 3 team at least, right?
their B team actually won the tournament. That was Radial's team. They
Yeah.
were considered the B team, and they were better than the A team. So theoretically, one of those teams would be in the lesser league, which
It's,
interesting. That's another kind of weird thing they did, but
yeah, it's just
I don't
it
know.
seems like there's a lot of changing in this league.
Well, they're getting
And
big too. Like
yeah,
CCL's growing huge. Like
it's
Yeah, they
huge,
definitely are.
especially after all this stuff now. It's
yeah,
just getting exposure,
they had
exposure,
like
and
400
exposure.
people in the that Twitter space call thing.
I was
Like,
one of them.
yeah, no, I was in there for a little bit, but
I was trying to yell at hold shift.
yeah, I think he was just
Nah.
saying that there shouldn't be any rules on it, which I get. That's one take. I
Mhm.
don't know.
I'm like I give crap about it, like, because I don't think it's right with how the process is, but I can understand why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's
I
giving
don't.
more exposure to the league, but when you're doing that, you're screwing like the people that have been loyal to you since the league started. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
I think like it's too late now. They'd have to make a rule where in the future, like Silly can still play because he's obviously getting money right now to go to school. It'd be kind of bad to make the rule now, so they're kind of already out of it. But like I said,
Yeah.
I think it was just without making rules, just naturally it was gonna go that way. People are
Yeah.
just gonna want to make God squads, and if you have got scholarship, then you're gonna do that. You're not just
Mhm.
gonna not do that if you have that resources.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be tough.
hmm
Off topic, you reminded me with the lagger thing.
yeah.
I just remembered I used to play for them back in 2015.
Yeah, Vex loves me.
I was about to say that's the only. I remember going to Fort Worth and seeing them there, and that was
Mhm.
Lager Vexed with
Yeah,
all that dude.
he's a weird cookie, but he absolutely loves me. I know me and Wes went down to a tournament. Just go off topic, going off that. We went down to a tournament down in Knoxville or somewhere in Tennessee, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where
Yeah.
Lager hosted. We got second at it, and it was funny because that was the team. It was me, Wes, Jordy, and this energy kid. We got second. We should have known that team was god awful, but somehow we got second out of it. And it's funny because the team that paid for our org for that was Team I and I.
Mhm.
Funny enough, the owner was this one girl. I think her name was Mo or Molly or something like that. Her boyfriend at the time was Sean Abner. So Sean Abner paid for our team pass and everything else to go to this event.
That
And
guy.
now
That
he's
guy's
locked up in
serving.
prison.
Yeah, he's serving time. Wow, what a turn of events.
Literally, that's funny.
Good
But
God. Yeah, I
Well,
remember CCL is coming out with lands this year, but I don't know. if we're gonna be going to some, because we're gonna want to
Mm,
scout out who's there first. I'm not trying to
mm,
drive 6 hours
yeah.
just to.
'Cause they were in talks about that last year for your finals,
Mhm.
weren't they?
Yeah,
That would have
that
been at the esports
COVID
arena,
hit.
right?
So
Yeah.
that's gonna be another thing too. If the CCL is gonna be doing lands,
Hmm.
how
They.
how are the
The
turnouts gonna
CCL will
be?
have lands, but the challengers won't. That
Because
makes sense.
Yeah.
the turnout is going to be questionable because how many people's really going to go? Because
Yeah.
guarantee that these professional players are going to go there. There's no way that
Yeah.
they're not going to go there.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. A lot of them last year weren't CCL, like they were just individual schools gonna put them on, but I've heard rumors that the actual league was gonna put them on. But like I said, I don't know. We probably would not want to go to that because one, we're not gonna be grinding, and two, you can basically narrow it down to two or three teams that are probably gonna win it because they obviously have the players
Because
that
you'll,
that have the money.
yeah, because you have the two Ottawa teams that they still have teams. I don't know if they still do or not, but if
Yeah,
they do,
I don't think they do. I
if
think they're
not, if not them, you have Goddard X's team that's supposed to be in it now. The big,
Billy, Dylan Rex. There's a bunch of people.
yeah, and then
Basically,
Concord's pretty good. Hit or
basically
miss.
just another challenger event. Like,
It really is.
basically a challenger team.
Yeah, literally, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's why I think that like rubs people the wrong way that've been in it because they've just seen like they're like for us we were like a top team for a while, but now obviously we're not. So like there's a just a uneven playing field for certain people that it no matter how you see it, just rubs certain people the wrong way. Why
See,
people get so pissed?
I remember because I was in the whole shift, Twitter, whatever, live,
Yeah,
whatever it's called. I honestly forget what it's called, but
Twitter
there's one,
space.
yeah, some guy was talking about. He's like, how is it fair when these schools are getting paying their players
Yeah,
thousands of dollars to come in and play, have these esports, like setups and spaces,
yeah,
and we don't have anything.
yeah. No,
He's
yeah,
he's like, it's not on an even playing field. I'm like,
yeah.
I can see that way, but it's like I also see it in the way it's like it's almost like how with football it is. Like
Hmm.
you have richer schools and you have poorer schools.
Yeah, there's just gonna be people that don't have the resources for
Mm-hmm.
school, but I definitely think that's like you can't knock people for going to. If you can get a scholarship, might as well go because there's nothing
Definitely.
prohibiting.
Yeah.
Which nothing will change unless obviously the CCL makes like
Mm-hmm.
stipulations on like
And
if you're a pro you can't play or you can only give out this many scholarships. You can't just give out like 8 scholarships and have two different stacked teams.
yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause,
you think this is just the first of it this year. There's gonna
yeah,
be
it's only gonna grow. Yeah.
if these teams can get by with it and say, okay, well, if you're not on a pro team now, you can go to CCL and make $25,000-$30,000
Yeah.
plus scholarship for school.
Hmm.
There's gonna
Oh.
be
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of people that's gonna do that,
Yeah.
especially top amateurs.
Which is good for the top. Like quality of teams are gonna go up, but a lot of your like volume of teams is gonna go down because
Mm-hmm.
the team that has 4 kids that just go to the college and aren't getting paid are just not gonna want to play.
Just like how you talked about earlier with you, Tom, and them. Literally, you
Yeah,
didn't know anything about it pretty much till
I had no idea. Yeah, it was
Tom
just
reached out to you guys, and then you guys made a really, really good team. Like I said, top
yeah.
4 team in my opinion. So
I don't know. I think it's definitely time will tell. See how it goes, but I'd just like to see some regulations come in
Mhm.
and
like official ruling and saying,
yeah,
hey,
like
this is what we're doing.
you can offer scholarships, but you can't have two like stack teams, 'cause especially if we're doing an A and a B league, like
Hmm.
like like you could theoretically, I don't know the rules on this, but I just have like our team, like we have 2 Purdue teams, just like our A team could just be like, nah, we're playing in the B bracket just for easier. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if anything's stopping us from doing that. Like,
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
gonna do that, but we
Tell
could totally do that.
tell Bizzle and then they promote him to A team.
Now, Visual's actually nice at this game,
I
but
know. I
I'm
played
just
with him a
saying,
few times.
I'm just saying, like, I don't. I feel like right now there's just no rules on keeping
Mhm.
anyone from doing that.
Mhm.
I would just like to see at least somebody ruling some way,
Yeah.
some regulations, because it's gonna be like the Wild Wild West here soon if people don't, make some make some rules.
Gotta watch out for Cowboy Benji then.
I
Yeah, I
think
might.
I think
Yeah,
within the next few years, I think there will be some regulations and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just so early.
Yeah, it's the CCL is still pretty much new. I mean,
Yeah,
this will probably be the very first year where they get this big buzz like they are now. So
yeah,
with you got professionals coming in, they're gonna have to have regulations. So I would think probably by
Yeah.
next year, next season, or whatever, that
Yeah.
they should have some type of foundation.
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely agree. Those guys, like, they know what they're doing over there, and I just think that, it's so early, like you said, that they haven't really had time to necessarily learn from mistakes or like make regulations. But I think the upside's really cool because a lot of people they don't even know about the CCO, and then when they learn, they're like, oh, that's actually really cool. Like that you do that. I think it's honestly gonna grow. I just think that yeah, like you said, that if they make some rules and make some guidelines, that it could definitely help.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just like I said, the wild wild west. You can just
Mm.
make God Squad teams if you have the money. No, it doesn't even matter. You can
Mm.
you can just play all year and not go to class and then win the tournament and then flunk out and go to a new school. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Literally.
know. It's definitely interesting. We'll see where it goes, but time will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Time will tell. So where do you think the CCL is gonna be in like the next 5 years?
Given where it's how it's grown since I've been in it, I think it's gonna honestly be up there with challengers because honestly like I heard people talk about it. Like grinding challengers is good for exposure, but if the CCL's competition goes up and you have these God squads forming, like it's in the like I said, we had like 20,000 viewers towards the end of last year on Twitch at one time. It's like you can get seen if you're gross in the CCL. You can get seen, especially if your team's really good. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's considered up there with challengers. Like I think it honestly could be bigger than challengers because if you don't know anything about COD and you see like two big name schools, you see Ohio State and Michigan playing, like you at least know those schools. Like in
Mm-hmm.
challengers, you might not know the players' names, so it's like you're like, why do I care about this? But if you like go to that school or know the school, then it might be even more interesting to watch. So
Mhm.
I think they definitely have an advantage there. I wouldn't be surprised if it's huge in a few years, like even bigger than what it is now.
I could see them having a team from almost every school in the country, almost as
Yeah,
like college football or college basketball.
but yeah, so I mean, you just have like the name brand schools. So like,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't know anything about it, like at least like if your parents were to tune in, they would at least know like Michigan University or Ohio State or something. But they wouldn't know who like the individual players are, but at least they would know the school.
That's like sort of how probably half of the viewers is for college basketball right now.
Yeah, you just see like two schools playing, and you're just like, oh, let's watch
Yeah.
this. Like
Yeah, you see Purdue losing by a
the
buzzer beater.
Rutgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. Don't want to talk about that. But I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes. It's gonna be big though if things keep going on the same path.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Um, I don't know. Maybe CCL will be the next thing where these scouts from the pro league will actually look for more than challengers, or there might be a
Yeah,
merger with challengers and CCL. Who knows?
yeah. No, I know like a lot of like towards the end of CCL playoffs last year, like FaZe, Rocker, like they were all like giving us like ads and things to play. So like they definitely were aware that we were doing it, and anytime a pro would they would host a pro like the CCL College COD stream, like they'd be like, oh, what the heck is this? And like Zuma was casting some of our matches, and they all thought it was a good idea. So I mean, I think that there's if once people know about it, I think it's just gonna take off even more. Like, and I saw like the COD Intel people tweeting out things about it, and that's like strictly only Challenger or has been Challenger stuff.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. That's
I
pretty
think
much
a
where
lot,
anyone
yeah.
gets their information from
Well,
for
CCL
COD.
used to be like a joke too. People used to think like, oh, the teams are so bad, like kids are horrible, which
Mm.
towards the bottom was true, but the top kids were actually in almost every year have been really good. So now I think if you're in the CCL, you're not going to get laughed at as much because obviously now you're going to have better kids playing. Like
Yeah.
you have to spawn in versus future pros. Like you can't say they're bad. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember because when I remember when they first started it,
hmm
someone asked me like, "Hey, we got this like preseason thing for the CCL." I'm like, "What the fuck is the
yeah,
CCL?"
mm,
I remember I played one match. We were going against Georgia State,
yeah,
or I think it was GS, whatever it is, Georgia State. It was
GSU,
GSU, yeah.
Georgia
We
Southern
absolutely
maybe.
someone like that, and we
Yeah,
absolutely smoked them. I'm like, dude, this is stupid.
yeah, they're really good now. They have some
But
good players.
Yeah, but it's like I was playing with like all comp players. I didn't know that
Yeah.
I was against people that just went to college together, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, yeah.
So, and it stinks because I remember last year I was just trying like, hey, you know what, I want to do a CCL thing. It's kind of cool,
Mm.
play against people. So I tried to make a team, and it just ended badly. Like I
Yeah.
think we barely beat your B team. Like I think we split maps. Well, no, I think we beat them like 3-1. But still,
Yeah.
like I
I
had to
know what you
find
mean.
people. I had to find people that
You're
never played
restricted.
comp before. All they do is play pubs.
Mm.
So I really had, I think, 2 or 3 people on my team that didn't know what league play was. We were trying to scrim and stuff like that. It was hilarious because you kind of build that, I guess, friendship with it. Which,
Yeah.
when you're getting a whole full scholarship team, I think you kind of lose that too in a way.
Yeah, because like that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like the
Mm,
teams that aren't offering scholarships, or you're restricted on who you can pick up because
mm,
they have to go to that school and obviously
mm.
get scholarships or pay for it another way. So that's why I don't know. That's why a lot of people are mad about letting scholarship teams that can give unlimited scholarships play with teams that are just restricted. Like if your team were to join, you obviously can't just give scholarships. You have to play with who's at your school.
Yep. I'll
So
go to Purdue, Fort Wayne. That's the same thing as
yeah.
Purdue. And I'll do online school.
Yeah, no, yeah, you could do Purdue Global. I mean,
Yeah.
we're playing with a kid that is doing Purdue Global,
Mhm.
and Chris realized obviously you know him, Swade,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he does Purdue Global, and we didn't even know if that was legal, but then yeah, they didn't care, so we're like, okay, yeah, like this is fine.
Everyone needs to go Purdue Global at this
Yeah, if we
point.
had scholarships, yeah, we could recruit anyone because they could just do
Hmm.
it online, and I don't
Hmm.
think it's Purdue Global is not that hard from what I've been told. So
Online school is easy.
yeah, so that's where
But
that's at.
so
Uh,
there you that's
That's
pretty
all.
much
I don't
CC.
know what else to say. Yeah,
Hey, that's CCL on a slate right there.
moral of
Yeah,
the story is just I don't know. I'd like to see some guidelines, but I think over time the CCL people, I have faith in them. I think they'll make the right choices, but right now it's kind of the wild wild west.
yeah.
It's
It's just like you said. It's early.
Yeah.
We definitely covered a shit ton over the CCL.
Hmm.
There's gonna be good, there's gonna be bad, but I think overall it'll be good. It might even bring some better competitors into the college league as well.
For sure.
So time will tell. I mean, it's just the beginning for them.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, Definitely had a great time talking with you guys. Do
Pleasure.
appreciate your time here, Benji.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
No problem. Shit, if you want to plug your Twitter or whatever, you go ahead.
Just follow me on Twitter at Big Dog Benji. I have some trolly tweets sometimes, but I'm sure somebody will get a laugh out there. If not, then oh
like
well.
you got the
Awesome.
goated tweets in the game. Best tweets in the game.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but
Hey, take the credit where it's due.
some trolly
Yep.
tweets for sure.
Uh, if you listen to the video, if you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at RBN Gaming HQ. We do giveaways. We have a current giveaway right now for a mystery box from Killer Jerky. And hopefully we'll have another episode out probably the week after New Year's. Since it's gonna be holidays, we're letting everybody take it easy for right now. Leave down in the comments below what y'all want to see next, who y'all want on the next episode. If you want a different type of video, whatever, just let us know. Appreciate y'all coming in tonight, and we'll catch y'all
Sure.
next episode.